All right, everybody. Welcome back to another great episode of the Colony Pit, where we get to talk to all of our friends and alumni. And we have a super great guest on here, a great friend of mine when I was a little person growing up. But Rex, who's on this hot seat for us today?
Yes, John, we have one of our own. She's a mom, a wife, an author, a business starter, a fundraiser, a cancer survivor. She's done it all, folks. From the class of '93, in the place to be, one of John and I's direct classmates, Gina Tronco, is in the house. Back in the day, we called her Gina Sionato. So, Gina, thanks for being part of the Colony Pit.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
No problem. Before we kind of get started with your story and everything, we got some colony and 90s warm up questions for you. So we're going to get started with that just to kind of get things rolling here. Let's say it's back in 93. You're cruising around town in your old school white Toyota Celica, which we were all jealous of. That was a hot car back in the day. Um, and you get a little bit of a sugar craving and you want to go to Kurver Cream.
Yeah.
You get to pick up four people. Who are the four? And what
Mm.
flavor are you getting at Kurver Cream?
Oh, wow. We're the four. Okay, well, I have to pick up Alex because,
All right.
I have to pick him
Alex
up.
had a red car, by the way. I don't remember what kind of car it was, but I
Good.
remember his was red. I want to say
I
it was a
want,
Hyundai, but I'm not
I want
sure.
to do a Hyundai also.
Okay.
I
But
picked him
anyway, you're
up.
picking up Alex.
I'm picking up Alex. I'm picking up Amy Benedict,
Oh, yeah.
picking her up. Yep. I
Two.
will pick up Kim Ogborn,
Ah,
really
all
good
right.
friend.
I
And
like
I
this.
will pick up, oh my goodness,
One more.
Jen Coletti. She's fun. I pick up Jen.
That's good. JC. Okay, I like
Yeah,
it.
you see.
What flavor are you getting when you get there at Kurver?
I have to get whatever's dairy free. I have a lactose issue, so I have to get whatever
Okay.
they have, which I don't think in '93 they had dairy free. So
Well,
I'd have
let's
to
assume they did. What would you get
uh,
if ever?
some pineapple Dole Whip.
Oh, that's a different one. I like it. All right. Go ahead, John.
Well, I think within that carload, you're definitely getting arrested before you even hit City Creek. But that's just me saying with those people on there. Great cast of friends on there. All right, Gene. So here we go. It's 1992. So
Ooh,
so go back to 1992. And what is it that you're watching on TV right now? I'll throw this out here. Are you watching The Real World New York? Are you watching Roseanne?
mm,
Or are you watching The Fresh Prince of Bel Air? Or is there one that I missed?
definitely the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That's what I'm
Ooh,
watching. Yes, I can still do the whole opening of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, word for
I like
word.
it.
nice.
I
Yeah,
like it.
I like Will Smith.
Could you do the Carlton dance?
I don't know. Maybe, probably, if I,
All right.
if I practiced it a bit. I'm
All
sure I
right.
could do that dance, of course.
Okay.
Rex, who else? You got
Go
another
ahead.
one?
You keep rolling with the '90s questions, John. This
All
is all
right.
you.
So here we go. 90s. What when you turn on the radio, who are you going to listen to first? Is it going to be Whitney Houston?
Mm,
It's going to be Metallica, or is it going to be Right Said Fred? Who are you listening to?
Whew.
Oh, I don't think it's any. I like Whitney, but I think I would listen to Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
actually,
him.
I actually was
King of
going to
Pop.
throw that one out there.
Yeah.
All right. All
All
right.
right, so here's the last one. Movies. It's Friday night. You're going to go see a movie. What movie you're going to see? Is it going to be Aladdin, A Few Good Men, or The Bodyguard?
Ooh,
Oh.
you know me, music person. I have to see Aladdin.
Very
I
Okay.
nice
have to see
pick.
Aladdin. Alex would not be happy with that choice, but I will be seeing Aladdin.
All right.
Ve-
Fair enough. Fair enough. Before we get into your story here, John, I just need a quick drink break, okay? You thirsty?
Yeah, I'm thirsty. Oh, and look
Yeah.
what I got right here.
Cheers.
Can you see that? Cheers, Rex.
Yes,
It's
spirit water.
spirit
Thank you.
water.
Spirit water. This was on, Gina did not know this, but this is her family's new startup venture, Spirit Water, and we will get to that later in the show, but very tasty water, I must say. So, John, go ahead. Let's get us started here.
All right, Gina. So now we're going to get this party going. So we're going to do this as we've been doing with everybody else, a little Pulp Fiction style. So we're going to start at the end. Where are you now? And then you're going to help us get to the beginning and to where we are now. So right now, what is your current situation for those that don't know? Are you married? Do you have kids? And where are you living?
Yeah, so Alex and I have been married for almost 25 years. We have, 25 years in August. We have 3 kids. Julia's 22. She just graduated from Marist last
Oh,
May.
wow. Nice.
Yeah, Bella's going to be 21 next week, and she's at Northeastern in Boston. And Olivia's 19, and she's at Syracuse.
Ooh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And where are you living these days?
We live in Latham,
Oh,
so
no
not
kidding.
too far.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
we went to the other side. We're in the North
crossed
Colony.
over.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Julia
in Shaker
graduated from Holy
territory.
Names, but the other 2 graduated from Shaker. So
Ah,
we did
all right.
we
Yeah.
did switch
See, now that
over.
you're in Shaker territory, I don't know if this conversation can go on much longer.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thank you.
Right.
And
Right.
cut.
Yeah, so I've been
Yeah.
a stay-at-home mom with them. I taught music for 5 years in Coxsackie, and then when I got pregnant with Julia, we figured it'd be best if I stayed home. So I've
All
been home
right.
with them for 23 years, and
Cool.
it's been wonderful. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's been
Awesome.
great.
Let's go back the other way now. Why don't you tell everybody what part of Colony did you grow up in, and generally, like, who were some of the people that maybe kind of lived in your general vicinity of Colony?
Yes. So my parents still live there, right off of Sand Creek Road on Harwich Drive.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no kidding.
in my neighborhood was Sherry Elmer,
Oh yeah.
Wayne Orden, Kevin French, Tony Mastriani. And there was a path to John's house that, we used to take back and forth. The McGarvey girls lived right behind me. Waiteka lived behind me. Early lived behind me. Farndon girls lived behind me. So we had a pretty
Okay.
big neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good crew. That's a
And
good
now
crew.
there's no kids in that neighborhood. Like everybody's growing up,
Oh
and
really?
yeah.
Okay. Um, if you could summarize kind of, and this is like a big question, but like your 4 years of, let's just focus on high school. Your 4 years of high school at Colony, kind of what were you into? Maybe what were you not into? What did you like? What were some of the things that were, you know, got you excited in high school?
I spent a lot of time in the music department, so I
Mm-hmm.
was really big into band and orchestra and cheerleading. So I did a lot of that. My parents had the deli, so after school or after
Yep.
cheer practice, I always had to go work, and that continued up until 2 years ago, and they sold the deli.
Oh, wow.
Really?
But
Wow.
yeah, they sold it finally. I was really into cheerleading. I loved it, and
Yeah.
I continued on into college with that also.
All right.
And,
Cool.
and cheerleading, what was it? Was it basketball or football?
I think
Or
I did
both?
football. Well, maybe both. I think I did both. Yeah, so I did football and basketball.
Nice.
And how long did your parents have the deli for? I remember that. God, when we were at Sand
45,
Creek.
46 years. They've had it for
Wow.
a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, so they sold the business about 2 years ago, and they retired.
That's
Good for
great.
them.
It was great. It was great. It was time. After COVID. It was, they were closed. They had to try to get back, and that we were just like, this is a great transition time to get out, and sell it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Good for them. In what grade did you meet Alex? Was that like right in ninth grade, or that pretty
Great,
much
yeah.
right from the get-go?
I was in ninth.
Okay.
He was in
In
10th,
10th.
and he came back from Italy that time. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So it
And
was,
you hadn't because I know with Alex, the little bit I've read, and I know he was in Italy for a while. Then he came back.
Mhm.
Had you known him prior to high school, or was that the first time? Like maybe in middle school, or I don't even know if he was in middle school or elementary.
He was. I think he was at Leisha Kill before he
Oh,
went
okay.
back. But I did not know him until he came back when we were in ninth and he was in 10th. And I remember people saying, "Oh, Alex Trunkel's back," and I was like, "Okay, I don't know who that is." Yeah. So
Cool.
that's when we met at the Super Dance, which was 34 years
Yeah.
ago this week. So that's
Was it
where
really?
Wow.
he came to my house ringing the doorbell collecting money for the Super Dance that we all went to
Is that the one where you like slept over, or was that
all
something
night.
different?
Yep.
Okay.
It was the all
Yeah, I
night
heard
dance.
about that. I didn't go to that, but we
Yeah,
weren't cool enough for that one, Joe.
I don't remember that at
Yeah.
all. The super dance.
Super
Yeah.
Dance. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So I was just curious, not to get out of high school, but where did you go to? Did you go to Shaker Elementary? Or did you go to Roselleville for elementary school?
I went to West Albany and then Sand Creek. Yeah.
So
That was the
wow,
last
so
class to come out of West Albany.
interesting because I went to
Yeah.
West Albany for a split second, and then we moved to where I ended up going, or I guess the
Yeah.
rest of my time in Colonie. But I went to
Yeah.
Roselleville, and the reason why I asked that, I want to know who went to that school. Everyone's telling me I went to Shaker Elementary, or actually West Albany. When I was there, obviously, the one person that came in, the last kid, was Bobby Eccles, and that was a
Oh yeah, he
story.
lived right across the street from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that. So interesting, West Albany, very
So our
nice.
neighborhood was West Albany.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
I mean, and that's the thing too. It's with ours, it was, but there's like so many people went to. I don't know. I must have been on that border where we went to Roselleville because I'm trying to find someone that actually went there. I have to
I
go
think my
look
sister,
at the
once they
yearbook.
rezoned, I want to say my sister went to Roselleville, but she also went to Shaker L. I think they rezoned while she was still in elementary school. So I want to say she
Okay,
went
makes
to,
sense.
yeah, that was 6 years after us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite teachers in high school? Like,
Oh gosh, I loved Mr. Aldi, the band teacher, Mr. Cornell.
okay.
They were just great. I spent a lot of my time in that room with those two. Ms.
Yeah.
Kowalczyk, the chorus teacher. Didn't you guys have to take chorus? Although,
Yeah, this was a discussion on a different episode. I didn't even know we had a choir, to be
oh, come
perfectly honest
on.
with you. I knew we had a band. I knew you were into music, but if you asked me anyone else who was into music, I wouldn't have been able to say it. But the choir was news to me when John's brother told us he was in the choir. But
Mhm.
no, I did not take music. I took art one in ninth grade, but maybe I could have taken one or the
I
other.
could
I'm
have
not
taken
sure.
either. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was one or the other. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in there.
And what instruments were you playing back in the day?
French horn and piano.
I was
Nice.
going to say that because I remember as kids, you would have piano lessons sometimes whenever, us hoodlums would go over to your house. I remember you're like, oh, I got piano practice.
Every
And you
Wednesday,
actually
it
had a
was
piano
piano
in your house,
lesson.
didn't you?
I had what?
Yeah, I said you did have a piano in your house, didn't you?
I had two. I had two pianos in my house. Yeah. Yep. I still have two
No.
pianos in my house.
Wow.
Do you still play a lot?
I do. I do play.
Yeah.
And the girls were taking lessons for a while they were at Forts Ferry Elementary School when they were still in the Shaker system. And then they went to Holy Names and they didn't have a band or an orchestra. And then they kind of stopped. And then by the time they went back to Shaker, it was too late.
Okay. What's your do you have a favorite piece you like to play on the piano?
I like Chopin. I do. I
Okay.
like a lot of Chopin.
I'm gonna
So I'll
nod
play
my head
that.
like I know what that is, but
Yeah.
it sounds good. So
It
you
sounds
know,
like
I bet you do a
chopsticks.
damn good job with it.
No, I try. I try.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question too, and we asked the last couple folks, if you had a chance right now to get in a time machine and go back to 1989, you walk through the doors of Colony Central High School, what would you tell your younger self then
Don't
to
be so
prepare?
shy and get out there and don't worry what people are going to think about you. Like, every time in ninth grade, you're so, especially as a girl, I'm sure it's as a guy too. Like, I still curly hair and I didn't know how to take care of it. And I tried, I was very self-conscious. think I maybe still had braces going into,
Yeah.
ninth grade. It's just an awkward time. And, just to tell myself it's all going to be okay one day. One day you're all going to be adults and you're all in the same boat. Like, you don't think anybody else is in the same boat as you as a 13, 14-year-old, however old you are, and then you just realize we all feel the same way. And it's okay.
And Sue, on that note, since we both went to Sand Creek, what was your first kind of thoughts your freshman year when we walked in that doors and all of a sudden we're dealing with those people from Leishakill? I just get like chills just having.
Yeah, we're like, ooh, the Leishakill people are coming in, right? I thought I was never ever going to find my way around that school, and I like the Leishakill, like they just seem like the meaner, crowd, and we're like, oh my god, Leishakill kids are going to kill us, and I'm never going to find my way around, and I'm never going to make it to class. So I remember getting off the bus during orientation. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. It's so big. And Leishakill people are coming in,
And you remember back in the day, they all had long hair because it was that heavy metal era. They all had those black mesh. Remember those mesh jersey shirts?
Yeah.
And they all had the acid wash jeans, and that was it. The LA Gear shoes. I just remember because all those Leishakill people, I thought they were like all in a heavy metal band when I saw them.
Yeah. Now I follow all the 90s pages and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot half of the stuff that was out there. And I wish I still had all my stuff.
Yeah.
And you know how cool
big hair too.
I'm trying to get, I just, it all comes back. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had that stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that was kind of like towards the end of the, that type of era. I feel like our high school years kind of faded away and a different era came in, but I still think we caught some of it in 9th and 10th grade.
I remember wearing like black pants and black shirts, and I got in trouble once because my belly button was showing and I had like black eyeliner. Like, I don't know what phase I was going through, but it was
like the end of the Headbanger era. I feel like we caught,
definitely.
So
cool. And that was when there was scrunchies and those hoop earrings was pure 90s.
Neon hoop earrings. Yeah.
I'm impressed, John. Hold up the scrunchie.
I think
I
I
did a lot of research.
Maybe a net glove, like net fingerless gloves, I think.
Nice. All right.
I wish I could bring back the 90s.
Do you have something, John? Or?
No, I was going to say too,
Okay.
So now it's graduation day. We're all at the egg. We're all walking across the stage. What was your plan? Or actually, did you have a plan after when you were our senior year? Did you have a plan? You're saying, hey, I know this year, as soon as I get done, I'm going to go do this. Did you already know that?
I did.
Really?
I was going to St. Rose, and there was no other option for me. Like, I had to work the deli, and I had to go to St. Rose because
no kidding.
It was the only place that had music, and I couldn't go away to college. So that was my plan. I knew I was heading there.
Okay. Did you live? I knew you went. I remember you went to St. Rose, and you were a cheerleader there too, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you live at home during college, or did you live at St. Rose?
Both. My first year, I lived at home. My parents didn't let me live at school. And then my second year, I kind of did it on the sly. I'm like, I need to get this dorm experience because I'm never going to have these years back. So I did what I had to do, took out a loan, and paid for my room and board.
Nice.
And I stayed on campus.
And who else from our classmates were there with you that year? Because I know there's a couple that went to St. Rose, wasn't there?
Yeah. I can think of a few. I can think of two.
Who?
Eric Brown went there.
Oh yeah, Brownie was there. Yeah.
And not necessarily from our class, but I think Joelle Gardy went there.
She did. We cheered together. Yes.
Okay.
Anne Grasso didn't graduate with us, but yeah, she was there too. Again, at St. Rose, the music building was across the street and separated from everybody else. So so we very rarely went across the street to the main population of classes for like just a couple liberal arts classes, but everything else was across the street and down a bit from everything. And of
Okay.
course, I lived on campus, but I got up and I opened the deli. I went to class. I had to do all my classes around lunchtime. So I went back to the deli for lunchtime. I went back to class. And then I went back and closed the deli from like 5 to 11. And then I went
Wow.
back to the dorm. So, I lived there, but I didn't get the experience of the whole dorm thing.
It kind of sounds like, in a way, it's like you were a commuter student, where you were, even though you were living there, but, I went for one split semester to Siena, and I had to commute because I got homesick when I went to Wagner. So I came back for one semester and I realized I am not living at home. I am going to go back to like you said, but going back and forth, I know those folks that commuting, that's like a whole another arena, or just a different game to go to college. Wow. I actually salute you. Man, that is crazy.
Yeah, I had to help out. I had to help out at the deli. I had to work, So now kids don't have, my kids are so lucky. I'm like, you have no idea how lucky you are.
Right.
You don't have to work. You don't have any loans. You
Yeah.
had the whole experience. You're all in a sorority.
Nice.
They did it. They did it all.
And they're going to some pretty expensive schools you just named there. So you've done all right for them, I'll tell you. So now, when you were at St. Rose, let me think about this. Alex was at Hudson Valley, Siena, like kind of some combination.
Yep, he was at Hudson Valley for 2 years, and then he went to Siena.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we weren't far. And he was at the deli working with me too. So we were, poor thing.
Now, when he was at Siena, was he living on campus or was he living at home too?
He lived at home.
Okay.
He lived at home.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And so now you're in college, you're taking classes for the stuff you love, music. Was your first choice to be a teacher, or did you want to do something else?
No, my first choice was a teacher. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. It was music ed. That's what I wanted to do. And I majored in French horn because I wanted to be a band teacher, not a general music teacher. And then I get out of college and it's a general music position. So I didn't know that I had to do it all. I was a chorus and general music teacher. I was like, I don't want either one of those. And that's the job I got in Coxsackie.
And I guess too, when you came out, what was your first choice? Actually head back to Colony, or did you have an idea where, in your mind, like if you could say, hey, I want to go there, where would it be?
After college?
Yeah.
I knew I was just going to stay here. So my whole family's here. There was nobody had ever ventured outside of Colony, Albany area. So I knew, it didn't even enter my mind to go someplace else.
Would you have ever, if you were given the choice, would you have gone back to Colony to teach, or would you have rather gone somewhere else? Because some people are like, I'll teach, I just don't want to teach at the same school that I went to, and other people are like, I like going back to the same one.
I would have loved to go back to Colony to teach. There was just no positions open. It took me a while to find. Took me all summer actually to find that Coxsackie job, which was great. A lot of us from St. Rose that I went to school with all started in Coxsackie. It was a great first 3-4 year job, and then if I hadn't decided to stay home, I probably would have applied for a South Colony, a North Colony, a Shen, a bigger school.
Right.
And what was it like in Coxsackie going to school there? What was that? Would you say is like the equivalent to? Because I know obviously smaller community, smaller education, so not much folks. What was your experience down there?
It was different. It was different there. I tried coaching cheerleading for the first couple of years, and they were still doing they would not move from 1978 cheers. I couldn't move them to 1998, whatever it was. Yeah, so it was tough. Wow. But it was great to get started in.
Yeah, your cheerleading squad was a little more on the advanced side, from what I remember at Colony. It was kind of like a little bit of a higher level cheerleading crew.
93. If you look at what they're doing nowadays,
yeah.
I wouldn't be there.
You'd be spinning around up in the air somewhere.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
All right. So, you go to school at St. Rose for 4 years. You get your teaching degree. You get the job at Coxsackie.
Getting my master's while I'm teaching.
Okay, you got your master's. And the those first few years, a lot happens, based on reading your book. Like maybe those first 5 years out of college, you get married, you buy a home, and you start having kids,
Start
right?
having kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
And now,
have,
were you?
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you first got married, were you living in Colony or Latham, or where were you guys?
When we first got married, we built a house in the village. So we were out there for like 3 years.
I remember
Um,
that.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right near
And-
Cook Park area, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If I
We were right
remember
there.
correctly, you lived on the same street as Chuck Dukes' sister,
Sister right across the street from her. Yes.
Marnell. Yes,
Yep.
I remember. I went over there, and I remember Chucky's like, "Yeah, Alex and Gina live right down the street, and
Yeah.
her little kids are now big kids now, obviously." So
Is she still there? I wonder if she still lives
no,
there.
no, no. They moved to North Carolina a
Okay.
long time ago, but I do remember that. I remember exactly the street. Yeah, it was right
I
off.
want that house back. I keep telling Alex, I'm like, I wish I want that house back. We just got married. We had our first kid there. It was just such a cute little
What?
house that we built there. I'd love to get that back. Yeah, we
Cool.
lived there for like 3 years. Um, then I had Julia, and Julia was 1, and I got pregnant with Bella. And I was like, we need to. This house is too small. So then we built another house, and this is when we got to North Colony, is our second house.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and then we had Bella, and Bella was
So,
there now.
so once you
Yeah,
started having kids, you didn't go back to teaching at all, or did you go back for a short time and then leave?
no, I didn't.
It was
I
it was
did.
done. Okay. All right.
It was done. Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
And then we moved into
Uh,
the second house. Bella was 8 months old, and I got pregnant with Olivia. So now I have 3 kids under 3, and life is chaotic.
wow.
Yeah,
That
I was gonna say that must have been a fun time. Was it fun?
Did you sleep?
No, well, looking back, like I do anything to go back to that. But
Yeah.
when you're in it, you're like, I'm gonna jump off the roof. Like it's really, and it goes by so fast. And I know it's so cliche, and everybody says it, but it just, she's gonna be 23 in a couple months, my oldest. I'm like,
Wow.
what happened? Where did that go? Like how, like the days are long, but the years are short, or whatever that's saying. Like it's so true. Like every day, I'm like, this day's never going to end. Like it's never going to end. And then sports end. Kids are off to college. You're empty nesters. You're like, what happened? All of a
Yeah.
sudden, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
When you say that, it always reminds me when we would go on vacation from grades. I always felt like those vacations were like forever. And then
Mhm.
reality now when it happens is like, man, we like, I don't know, like time slowed down for us, but like now it's like, man, 2 weeks is like that. And you're like, can't we have a
Yeah.
vacation? And for us, it was just like, what was it? We graduated in June. I think we had July, August, and then we're back in school, like,
Yeah.
at the end of August, beginning of September. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just time
Do you,
goes faster and faster.
yeah. Now, do you ever have the itch to maybe not necessarily obviously go back to a actual teaching position in a school, but do you ever have the itch to just teach music in some form or the other, whether it be give a lesson or I don't know if there's like special music schools. Would you ever
Yeah.
think about that?
I do sometimes, but when the kids were in junior high, elementary school, junior high-ish, I would play the piano for the school concerts. So I
Oh,
would do
wow.
that, and that would like get me into the school. And there's still times where I see, like the first day of school, it makes me miss it. That first, there's something about the smell of walking into the school, the first week of September. I still would miss it, but I think the way kids and parents are in this day and age, I don't think I would make it. I think they fire me pretty quickly. But I do see it, and I think, I do miss some of it. I don't have the urge to teach like a private lesson, like have kids
Okay.
come or go to their house, but I do like, I'm probably the only person who likes, I'll go to your kid's band concert happily. Like I will sit there for hours and watch your kid squeak out something on the clarinet, and I would love it. Right. So that
Wow.
I do miss.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That That's a hidden talent right there to go there, because I remember a couple of times we would go by and I would hear just like noise, and I know it was music, and God bless them
Yeah.
for doing that, because I didn't have that ability to play the instrument. But I remember like we would have those auditoriums, and you guys would be up there doing your
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, wow,
Mhm.
like these guys are really good once
Mhm.
you. But when you guys are practicing, it sounds like nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
But once you
It
guys are
sounds
out
like
there, it's like, wow, these
just a
guys are
bunch
pretty
of
talented.
noise. Yeah. Yeah. Bunch of
Uh,
noise.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we wrap up? We'll wrap up part one, but we're going to have Gina back for part two. So, to everyone out there in Garnet and Gold Nation, please subscribe to the Colony Pit and come back to us for part two to hear more about what goes on with the life of Gina Tronco. Peace out.